Good morning, everyone. I'm going to give everyone just a little bit of time to join. Um, I'll introduce myself. Last time I didn't do that. And if you don't know who I am, my name's Lori Williams, and I am the administrator for the Alcohol Inc. Art community. And we are having right now, we're having an event. It's a 9-week event called the Alcohol Inc. Art Experience with lots of projects and events and stuff wrapped around that. A lot of fun. If you haven't checked it out, then I will leave a link in the replay so that you can find and learn more about the alcoholic art experience. But in the meantime, part of that experience is the Alcoholic Art Journal Challenge, which is a challenge that we put together for 9 weeks that you work in an alcoholic journal of your choosing. You can make your own, you can purchase one of our journals, you can make your own. You can use loose paper and bind it at the end. You can put it in a binder, whatever you want to do for your journal. The whole point is meditation and therapy and being able to just journal each day to get your thoughts down on paper through art and through alcohol ink specifically. So what I'm doing as part of that is every Friday morning at 11 a.m. I am going to go live here in my channel just to show you where my thought process and go through my journal. It forces me to do journaling. It's been a crazy busy week. I work full time on another business that I run called Trumpet Marketing, and we help businesses succeed online. Also help artists succeed online with Art Bugle. So those are other things if you're interested in checking out that I'm involved in. And yeah, just check them out. And if you have any questions about anything, just you can always reach me. You can reach me through the channel here, or you can always email me at lori@trumpetmarketing.net. So anyway, today is week 3 of the journal challenge, and this week's is let's see, what it's the woods one. So like the last 2 that I've done, actually, have been woods related, which is kind of funny. And this one is too. It's called I think it's Enchanted Wilderness or Woodsy Wilderness or something like that. So I have something in mind that I want to do today that I haven't actually done this exact approach, and I thought it would be kind of fun. And this is something that one of our contributors did many, many years ago, and she used a masking fluid to create some interesting like trees and stuff like that in a wilderness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on that today. Move around my camera, my microphone a little bit because I want to make sure that you can hear me when I turn on to my workstation. Okay. Great. Okay, let's see. If you're here and you're watching, I thank you for being here. This is my channel. This is where I'm going to be going live for the next few weeks on 11 a.m. on Friday morning. The only exception to that is Black Friday. I may or may not, depends on what family is around. That's everyone comes here and I entertain. So if I can break away, I will definitely do that and come live. But that's a big if. So I just want to set your expectations there. I might reschedule to another time instead to make up for it during that weekend, and I'll let you know. So anyway, let's see. Great. Okay, so I'm going to switch my camera down. I've given people a little bit of time to join in and watch. So let's do that, and then we'll get started on the fun part. Okay, hello. Can you see me here? All right. So now I'm just going to look real quick in the chat, see if anyone is okay. So chat's quiet. You guys are quiet this morning. All right. So I've got a few things here. So to start off with, this is my alcohol ink journal. This is the larger journal, which is a 9x12. I do have a few of we did do pre-orders for this. And we are placing the order as we speak. They come from Nara paper in India. So they take a little while to get here. So if you order one of these, I will have some in stock on, because I ordered extras, because that's what always happens if I do a pre-sale, which I did. I ordered extras, but you know, the pre-sale, they got a discounted rate with the extras. You will be able to find and order online at shop.alcoholinc.community. I'll also put a link to that in the comments on the replay for this. But let's get started. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to put on my gloves. They're a mess, but I'm going to put them on anyway. Let's see. I think this one goes on this end. The other day I put it on backwards when I was doing a demo. That was kind of funny. All right, so the first thing I want to do, so I want to kind of keep it in some autumn colors here a little bit, and I'm going to put those down, put down a wash of those down. So I'm working on this page, but I'm not going to actually use the whole page. I want to try to keep it in screen so everyone can see what I'm doing. But I'm going to put some alcohol down. Just want to have this background flow, and on this background, I'm going to do a little bit of yellow. And this is going to seem weird, but I'm going to do a little bit of a pink in here. And I'm just pulling what I have here on my desk, which is probably what I used last week. This is Fiesta, so it's a bright pink, but that's okay. I'm just going to put a few drops down on the paper. And I am going to, let's see, first thing I'm going to do is I am going to take a brush, do kind of a wide brush, and I'm just going to just move this around. And I want it to be kind of light and moved around a little bit. It's going to get me some oranges where they mix. Let's see. I just want this to be very light. I want some more yellow in that pink. I knew it would just really overshadow that yellow a lot. So I'm just going to mix some of that in there too. Okay. Clean off my brush on the side there. And that's kind of a large brush. And stick it into some alcohol. I have some alcohol here just to clean it off a little better, because I'm probably not going to use that anymore. Just going to put it over in my brush bin. Bring my blower and kind of dry this out a little bit. Move some of this ink around, give it some interest on the page. I'm going to reactivate some of this in a minute. But before we do, we're going to mask it once we get it dry. I have to have it good and dry before I come in with my masking pen. I love just watching that ink move across. That's so satisfying. We're getting there. Good thing the ink's dry. You know, it's not like acrylic and it takes a while to dry. These dry really fast. But this blower helps me blow them in certain directions and also dry a lot faster. It's looking really good. Probably should have watered these colors down a little bit so it'd be a little less bright, because I'm trying to go with something lighter, but that's okay. This is going to do what I want it to do. So what I'm going to do is an enchanted woods, like some woods, and I want to have a path. And I'm thinking, you know, kind of want my path to go. Let's see. This right here I have is it's a masking pen, and it's from a company called Grafix, Grafx, not to be confused with Grafix that makes the other paper that we use. This is different Grafix, and it's Molotov. And if this is a masking pen, and just to show you what it does, I just make sure this one, I might have to start the new one because this one's really old. Yeah. I will open up the new one. PBO makes one too that I use a lot. I just don't have it like handy. And I'm going to use a couple of different methods of masking. So open up this one. I'm going to give it a good shake. You can hear it has a ball inside. You want to make sure that ball's moving around really well. Yeah, it's so funny. I'm looking at this. I got old one. I don't know why I didn't just throw it away before. I tried to leave myself a message, but I just didn't pay attention. Okay, I think that's probably good enough. And so now it has a nib on it that doesn't have any of the masking fluid in it. So what you have to do, just like a Posca pen, you got to kind of pump it to get the masking fluid flowing. And it is blue in color. All right. Okay. So now I think I want like a little pathway that comes like out here a little bit. So I'm going to paint in some trees in the background. So what I'm going to do is start masking up. And these are going to be these small ones in the back are going to be in the background. So I'm just going to leave those kind of smallish and put them randomly in here, different heights. And this is again masking fluid. What will happen is it'll dry and then I'll see what's underneath that. So as I come forward, I want to make these trees in the pathway bigger and wider. And so I'm going to probably come over a couple of times. Make these as they come forward bigger. So I want to put more fluid down. And I'm going to go all the way up to the top of my page. So what this is going to do is it's going to leave this color that's there. And I'm going to go over this tree here. Okay, that's going to be my trees for that side. Maybe some smaller ones in the back. Varying height. Okay. Then on my path is going to come along here. That's going to be kind of my light area here. So let's start putting in some small trees. I'm going to pump this a little bit more off to the side. Okay, so the winner from last week. So every week we're giving away one of the mini journals for people who watch here and comment. So the first week we had a winner, Adele Montgomery, won. Congratulations, Adele. And this week's win from last week's comments is Jeanette Peak. So that's the winner from last week. in the comments. So how can you be entered to win today's? The way you win today's is you just comment, ask questions, whatever you want to do or say in the comments of this video. And if you are watching live or the replay, doesn't matter. I don't choose until the next week. So it gives you a whole week to leave comments and ask your questions. And if you are active in the comments, then you will be entered automatically to get one of those journals. Here's what they look like. They're like a mini version of the large journal, and they have Terra Slate on the inside. Terra Slate is another non-porous surface that you can create alcohol ink on. So I need the ones up front to be bigger so that we have that perception going back. So making a really big one right here in front here. Another thing I've used for this, for masking, if you don't have one of these pens, is you can actually use Scotch tape. And that works really good. You put the Scotch tape down over this, and then you can lift it. Just lift up the tape. The only tricky part to that is you have to be able to make some strips of the tape thin and some of them thick. So that's the only thing there, but you can do that. I've done it. Let's see. Let's do a really big tree over here. Just painting with this masking pen. And all this is going to get lifted in the end. Clean that off. It's picked up some of itself on it. It gets really, it's like a gummy sort of, if you've worked with gummy paste or whatever in the past. So sort of what it's like. Okay. So I've got my path here. It'll widen out like this. I've got some big trees. Masking fluid's already drying, and it kind of dries a little clear, so it's harder to see, but it's all good. Make sure I got it. Okay, I think that's good. That'll give me the effect that I need. Now I just need to get this to dry, and that's going to be the kind of hard part. So I'm going to kind of blow it a little bit here while it's drying. That part is a little bit of a pain. So the other thing, I've used is the masking fluid that you can get in a bottle. And so that masking fluid works good too, but it does take a while to dry. You can get one of those. I don't know if you've seen them before. There's a bottle called a fine line bottle with a fine line tip that you can put it in. And it has a special little nib on it that has a needle that goes in that keeps it from drying out in there, and it works perfect for masking fluid. I'll put a link to it when I post the replay of this, so you have it, just in case you want to try that out. But you can actually paint with the bottle the same kind of way. But since I found these masking pens, it's this Molotov and the Pebeo. So Pebeo makes one as well that works great. And writing with a pen is so much fun on the alcohol ink. So you can mask out areas pretty quickly. Like I said, the only problem is the drying time. So that's what I'm working with here, the drying time. So after this, I'm going to come in with, I'm going to have some blue. And let's see, I'll probably have some yellow, more yellow. And I'm using Ranger inks here. Some this sailboat blue. I've got the Rangers, not Rangers, T-Rex. T-Rex is glacier blue and autumn yellow. And then I'm also using green. So I have a Olive Grove here from T-Rex. We'll see how that works out. I do have a meadow here, but I think that I think I might skip the meadow and just use one green towards the bottom. I'm gonna get some browns and stuff mixing these colors. I'm okay with that for this project. Bear with me here while we get this to dry. Oh, look, I turn around and see who's here. Hi, Terry. Hi, Jeanette. Jeanette, you won the journal from last week, the mini journal. Congratulations. This says week one. Oh no, the title when I went live, it changed. It automatically pulled in from last week 1. This is actually week 3. Thanks, Terry. When I go to post a replay, I'll fix that. But I'm glad you found it. Yeah, this masking pen is really cool. I did a whole like series on TikTok where I would put down I would scribble a name with the markers on a piece of paper, and then I would put the alcohol ink down, and then like I would wipe it off, and it would reveal the name or whatever, and that was kind of fun to do. I think they're still up on my TikToks if you go check that out. Flory Trumpet, same as everywhere else. We're getting close here. You're going to be like, why did you put that whole background down and go through and get rid of it? You're going to see. I might go with some of this, not quite dry yet, as long as it's in place and it's not moving around at all. So I think I'm good. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go over this in this order. I'm going to use the sailboat blue, some of this glacier blue, the autumn yellow, and green. I'm going to start at the top with this sailboat blue. It's going to probably give me some purples and stuff like that. Just going to let that blend. Let's come in underneath that with some of this glacier blue, which is kind of a teal color blue. It's really pretty. And then underneath that, I'm going to come in with my yellow. Some of this yellow I just ran out of. And then along the bottom, I want to do the green. Now I'm going to take a brush and just lightly move that around because I don't want to disturb the masking fluid, especially in the areas where it still might be a little damp. But for the sake of time, I want to get this out there. And like I said, this is pulling in some of the some browns, which I fully expected, and I'm totally cool with that. All right. I am going to come in with some felt and pick up some of this stuff and then let it bloom and do the things it does with my handy little blocks that I use all the time. At first, I'm just going to come in here and just tap in pickups in certain areas just because there's so much ink down and clean that off. Put that over and go to another piece of felt. Okay. And the blue's done really well on its own. I actually need to reactivate some of that, I think, maybe. Cool. Yeah, liking this. Okay. Let's put a few drops of alcohol on here and come in and tap the blue to get some clouds and texture in that area. Try to turn it in different directions so I don't get the same pattern everywhere. Awesome. That's what I'm looking for. All right, let's let that dry just a bit. Hi, Pamela. Good. Pull those inks out. Do some art this weekend. I'm actually going to be in Baltimore this weekend, Pamela. I know that you don't live far from there because our friend Vera is exhibiting in Baltimore at the Oddities Expo. So that ought to be interesting. I told my daughters about it and they were all like, we want to go, we want to go. So like the whole family's going. Should be fun. It's at the Baltimore Convention Center. And Vera's going to be demonstrating, and I'll be there probably earlier in the day. Okay. We're almost dry here, and we're almost to the point where we're going to reveal our trees, and then we can come in and put a little detail in. In the meantime, I can see if I can have my little, I think I have it. Yes, I have it. Thank goodness something's where I thought it was. I'm going to have a rubber cement puller to lift this up. I'm going to let this dry just a little bit longer. I would turn on my my little air dryer. Do I have my fan? Where's my little fan? Terry, if you're watching, remember the fan in our gel plate experiences? This thing is great too. It's just a little personal fan, but it helps expedite the drying time, and it's not loud at all. Okay. All right, here comes the fun part. We're going to reveal by removing the masking fluid that we put down with the pen. And I'm going to start over here. And what it should reveal is the colors that were underneath. It's not going to be perfect. It actually works better with the cement puller. I'm just making a first pass on this. Some of it's pretty gummy because it's wet. Ideally, I would probably wait an hour and come back and do this. Go have lunch or something like that. But we don't have that much time and that luxury of that much time on a live. So we're going for it a little bit here. Okay. So it's a little messy. Oh, well, good luck on your procedure tomorrow, Pamela. This is a bit of a mess, but that's okay. We'll get through it. Like I said, if you have more time, let it dry more. But you can start to see where my little forest is and where my pathway is going to be. All right, so I'm going to take a Fantastics. We talked about those last week. If you didn't watch last week, you can always go back. The replay is live, and it says week 2. I'm going to take a Fantastic. I dipped it in a little bit of my isopropyl alcohol, tap it off on my paper towel, and then come in here and lift a little bit. But I don't want to lift out my pink. That's the problem. So I'm not going to do it like everywhere. Okay, I'm just going to leave that alone. On second thought. See if I can. So the lesson here to learn is that you have to be more patient than I had the luxury of being on this one. Because if you want to have that color shine through from underneath. But that's, I'm going to keep moving, even though I still have some of this paint, some of this masking fluid down. Just because I want to make sure that you get the gist of what I'm doing. So I'm going to come back with a Posca pen. And we got a light source right in this area. I'm going to kind of come on the side of the tree away from the light source, just like we did last week, Same sort of thing. You can feel free to be squiggly with your lines. You can turn your paper around. Sometimes that makes it easier. If I do that, that is making it a little bit easier. Part of the problem is the drying time that I'm dealing with here. You guys might not see that it might not be translating on the camera because it's still going to be fine. Yeah. So you see how those trees start to pop when you put a little bit of shadowing on them? I'm not going crazy, but I'm just kind of going along the edges of these trees. And honestly, with these things, I'll end up a lot of times just playing forever, but we'll come back to that because I do want to get through this in our allotted time frame. All right, so I'm going to make my pathway, and the way I'm going to do my pathway is I'm going to take a piece of felt and fold it in my fingers like this, and I'm going to come in with a different green. No, I'm going to use a yellow, sunshine yellow, because if I do that on top of this green and it blends, then I think that I will get what I'm looking for. So there we go. I'm just going to come in here, tap it off a little bit on the paper towel, just so you know you're not too wet. And I want the path to be tiny towards the front, towards here, and then as we come out this way, it's going to fan out a little bit. So we're going to do that. It's going to give us some perspective in this painting. You could go around, you could kind of go into the corner, like it's going around the corner. There we go. Then we can put in a little tree. Where's my palettes? Couple of things I'm going to put in my palette. I'm going to put some of this Cabernet, which is a deep red. And then I'm going to put in, do I have a brown? Here, how about this? This one is called Canyon Rust. I'm going to put in one. The reason I'm putting it in one is I want to put some little trees here so it can like direct the eye on the path right a little bit better. And let's put some of the yellow in here. So I have it in there with a little bit of the alcohol evaporating out to thicken those inks. Take my little brush here into the yellow, and then I can kind of control the path a little bit better this way. I'm over here where this is starting to sit up, and just come in and put some trees here. Just gonna make them kind of, the color's not gonna be dark enough, but I will come back with my micron pen. I got all the tools out today. So micron pen, draw some of those in there. Got the sun peeping through a little bit. That's not working great on there. So I'm going to go back to my Sharpie. That always works. Where I will use a little bit of that color is I want to come with a little bit larger brush, a filbert, and kind of just fill in these areas back here. Make it look like there's something going on. Blend it a little bit with kind of the ink that's already there. Touch of this Cabernet into here. Here. Maybe back in here too a little bit. Falls, the leaves are falling. All right. Now the trees are a little drier. I'm going to start just putting in a few little branches, squigglies on these foreground trees. You can also come in like we did last week and just kind of put in some marks on the trees. All right, now I'm going to take another felt and I'm going to, this felt, I'm going to put some of this olive green on it, and we're going to come in and make leaves in the trees. And I do that by just adding it to the felt and then tapping. You can come in here and tap in here a little bit too, in between these trees. Oh, I'm not being exact on anything though. And once it dries a little bit, I come back over again, tapping on top. That reactivates some and it also gives it more texture. And then I'm going to take another felt and this time I'm going to come in with the Cabernet. You get all kinds of colors going on here, but I like the peak trees. That the purpose of that was just to show you um, the effect of the masking. I think it's kind of fun and different. Makes it the painting a little more fantasy. That's my red. Now I definitely have to come in with yellow on top of that. I'm looking like a mess here. Okay. So normally I just spend a lot of time like working on it, just updating things and just working on the tiny details, adding details. Um, and I can work on a project like this and it can end up being hours. I get really entrenched in it. I'm going to actually come in these trees and give them a little bit more texture with just a brush with some alcohol on it, just to tad them out, just tap it in there. I want them to bloom a little more, maybe have some little circles going on like Corrine's presentation the other day. I don't know about you guys, when I do these little dots, they're therapeutic for me. It's so fun to watch the ink bloom. Now you're gonna come off. All right, so I'm adding a little bit of yellow in here because I needed to warm it up a little bit. Or at least that's the way I felt. There we go. Jeanette, I'm glad you're having fun. You know what? I think I'd like to do one of these lives and have you guys on the screen with me so we can all watch each other paint. I think that would be a lot of fun. All right, so just a few more things before we wrap it up. Come back in here a little bit more with this paint pen. Let's put some grass in. Some of the grass going over the path. That kind of makes sense. Usually that happens. We could come in and we could put rocks in. You get the picture. So you can do a lot of different things. I got a lot of mud going on the trees because the colors I ended up mixing together, which was, it happens even with the best intentions. But now that I have this, I can kind of come and put this in. Boy, that little tree right there is a mess. We got to fix that. Let's see. Not really sure how I'm going to fix it, to be honest, but I can fix it. I'll lift some of it out. It's fantastic. A couple of trees, so let's get this, there we go. I'm just lifting out those little tree leaves there. And let's see, let me get my green again on my felt. That's a little bit better. Not much, but a little bit. All right. So this week's challenge is the Enchanted Woods. So if you're in your journal and you want to give the Enchanted Woods, you don't have to follow my guide completely. As a matter of fact, you probably shouldn't this week. I'm not extremely happy with this one, but not all pieces can be masterpieces. But it's not bad, and it's kind of fun. And I can like put a frame on it like that, and it's a cute little piece. Thank you guys for being here and for watching. I will see you all. Let me switch my camera so I can say goodbye. There you go. So this was fun. Make sure that there's another, Teresa Brown has a great presentation this week. And it is definitely a challenge. It's probably more on the more advanced alcoholic painting level, but I encourage you to watch it even if you don't have the confidence to give it a try right away, because after you watch it, you might find that it's definitely doable. And it's a beautiful project. It's a yellow truck with pumpkins and a whole fall scene with a barn, and it's a really nice picture to paint. So go give that a try, and I'll see you guys next Friday at 11 a.m.